A new consciousness is developing which sees the Earth as a single organism and recognizes that an organism at war with itself is doomed.
Hey guys, Shalev here, the Zeitgeist Movement, the activist arm of the Venus Project. I'm doing this video to kind of explain to people what the purpose of the Zeitgeist Movement is, what it is that we're trying to do, and also to explain the Zeitgeist Movement's relationship to the Zeitgeist films, because there seems to be some confusion about that. But I want to start with a man called Jacques Fresco. Jacques Fresco is the founder of the organization called the Venus Project. Now, Jacques Fresco does tours to show people what the future can be, and he's identified the root causes of many problems that we see in society that a lot of people just assume there's nothing we can do anything about, that these problems have always existed and that they always will. Problems like war, like the crime in the streets, people killing, people stealing, poverty, starvation, slavery. But the truth is, as the Venus Project has demonstrated, there are certain conditions that generate these problems, and if you eliminate the conditions that generate these problems, then they will not exist. Now, after taking an empirical look at different cultures and different economic systems, Jacques Fresco decided to advocate what he calls the resource-based global economy. And a guy called William Gazecki decided to do a movie about Jacques Fresco and the system that he proposes. This movie is called Future by Design, which was released in the year 2006. In the following year, 2007, a different movie was put out on the internet. Zeitgeist. Now, Zeitgeist was created by a guy named Peter Joseph. Peter Joseph didn't know who Jacques Fresco was, didn't know who William Gazecki was. Peter Joseph had never heard of the Venus Project or of a resource-based global economy. And when he made his film Zeitgeist, people reacted to it in different ways. Some people watched it and were like, well, this is a bunch of conspiracy theory BS. All right? They thought it was stupid. But there were other people who watched it and became very concerned, became upset, angry, sad, right? A lot of people were asking Peter Joseph, what do we do, right? They wanted to do something, but they didn't know what to do. So they're asking him, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And Peter Joseph didn't know what to do, right? He didn't think, oh, I'm going to create a Zeitgeist movement, right? He wanted to know what to do himself, okay? But then William Gazecki, the creator of this film, watched Zeitgeist. And he had Peter Joseph watch his film, right? Future by Design, the one about Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project. So Peter Joseph is starting to go, this might be what we need to do. Okay? So he goes and he interviews Jacques Fresco, all right? And the interview appears in Peter Joseph's second film, Zeitgeist Addendum. All right? And Zeitgeist Addendum basically is used to then create, to recruit the Zeitgeist Movement. So the purpose of the Zeitgeist Movement is to gear people in the direction that is proposed by the Venus Project. So we're basically raising awareness of the stuff that Jacques Fresco talks about with the resource-based global economy, the fact that it's possible to create a better future, the fact that we can eliminate the conditions that are generating certain problems in society. Now, if you ask Jacques Fresco, the founder of the Venus Project, if he agrees with everything in Peter Joseph's Zeitgeist film, what he has said in the past is, I agree with everything except for the conspiracy theory. Now, of course, the point that I'm building up to here is that it's completely erroneous to jump to the conclusion that the Venus Project is full of crap simply because you don't believe the 9/11 conspiracy theory stuff that was in Peter Joseph's Zeitgeist film. Venus Project doesn't believe that stuff either, and Venus Project didn't have anything to do with the creation of Peter Joseph's Zeitgeist film. Now, I've seen some people also make the erroneous conclusion that the point of the Zeitgeist movement is to spread conspiracy theories. But the Zeitgeist movement, though created by the same guy who created the Zeitgeist movie, was created as the activist arm of the Venus Project. It is not the purpose of the movement to spread conspiracy theories. It is the purpose of the movement to gear people in the direction that the Venus Project proposes. The direction of the resource-based global economy, this system updated to present-day knowledge where we share the earth and its resources. Although, it should be noted that the Zeitgeist movement is a group of people who come from a variety of different backgrounds, and we kind of have differing perspectives on Peter Joseph's first Zeitgeist film. So what that means is that some people agree with everything in the film, some of us only agree with some of it and kind of reject other parts of it. I will give you guys my personal take on Peter Joseph's Zeitgeist film. I mean, when I first watched it, I pretty much just assumed everything in it was true because the world is that messed up. But since then, I've kind of come to decide, okay, there's a lot in this movie that I agree with, but there's a lot in it that I'm also very skeptical of and need more evidence for. So, you will see people in the Zeitgeist movement who, some of them do support this 9/11 conspiracy theory. Some of them do believe it was a inside conspiracy within, the United States government or whatever. Or some plot from the banking elite, something like that. But not everyone in the movement feels that way, and it's not the point of the movement to perpetuate, to relay that conspiracy theory. I'm going to reiterate this. The point of the movement is to gear people in the direction of the resource-based global economy.